Welcome everyone. Here's a fun full contact war gaming accessory, and that's a remote control dinosaur. It walks, it talks, it crawls on its belly like an alligator. But the understanding of remote controls have always been something that has fascinated, I think, most people, but they've never really been affordable. Now remote control cars and everything else are unbelievably cheap. I mean, you can even get very small cars for $10. This is I got this for $28. To get a remote control in the past, just about almost anything used to cost you hundreds. And especially if it was something kind of nice and fancy. And you can still spend that for larger remote control items, but you can get very nice remote controlled items of all types now in the $30 to $50 range. Like, let's take a look at this. Let's open this up and see exactly what you get here. Okay, let's pull this open. And who doesn't like dragons? Again, dragons, everybody loves. The dragon energy is fascinating in the term of how to tap into these. Very mystical and powerful. But it certainly is something that we have here. Okay, there's a little screwdriver and to fill. And I'm assuming this is to... this actually shoots mist out and other things. As you can see, there's actual spray, and you put that in there that shoots out. We'll get into all that and how that works as we start to. But let's just kind of unbox this. This is going to be, let's take a look at that. So you've got some little screws. You've got this to fill it up. They gave you a little screwdriver. So it looks like a very complete kit for a very low price. And we'll get into the instructions here. Okay, these are just in multi-languages. Get it in here so you can see it. They have a 24-hour service email. If you run into any problems, there's spraying light, light up eyes, draw closes. There's the remote control, which is cool because it looks like a dinosaur skeleton. This is model. There's the model number. Remote controller and all the other info there. So it's quite a kit. And let's take a look at this. Actually, you can see how this is quite a detailed dragon. It's not something that's thrown together. The molds are really good. Let's go in there and show you close up. This is soft plastic here, so anything that has to move is soft plastic. The rest of it is not. But you can see the quality there in terms of the mold. Here's the tail, everything's strapped in well. And we're going to cut that up right now and get all the parts out here so that we can show you. We'll actually demonstrate this in another video. But initially, we're just going to let's see if we can take this out from the back here easily instead of potentially harming. So the actual products, and these are very strong here, so you're gonna need a good knife, and it's a lot of things that people don't have. They try a good sharp knife, and of course scissors, other things that are just nice to have. Once you cut them in the back like that, notice how easy everything comes out. Here's the control. And of course, everything requires batteries. It has a battery compartment with a screw down, which I don't like because you always lose the screws. But they use AAA and AA batteries, so you can get those anywhere. This looks quite nice. A lot of good detail again, a good molding. Those are all what you're looking for. Anybody can throw together something cheap and do bad molds. Here's the actual wings. It looks like those may screw on. Maybe that's what the screws are for. Let's take the actual figure out. And you can see this is also a nice size. This is going to be really cool for full contact wargaming as we get into it and have this as one of the major adversaries because of the massiveness of it. And, you know, it makes it very exciting when you're able to do that. Instead of, so, I mean, having a remote control... see here, we're going to have to put that tail on it to stabilize it. Makes it a lot of it very exciting instead of the boring stuff. So by having shooting capacities with full contact, using different types of weapons, using statistical data, and making it more than just a shoot 'em up where you're just shooting things, and going by particular rules which we'll be putting together here. Now let's see how this goes in. It just folds in here. The instructions are not too, oops, I got it backwards here, are not too complete here. So it looks like you just tuck it in here, and there is a little, let's see here what it says in the instructions here, just to double check it. Okay, it does say just to press it on here, so that's what we're going to do, and it says listen for it to click into place. So that's what we're going to do here, and see it. It's hard to do this at arm's length while filming, but let's see if I can get that in here in that area. Let me take it out of view for a second here so I can get this wire kind of, you got to push the wire into the tail so that it can go in without damaging anything, and that it appears, I gotta make sure that wire, which is pretty long, it looks like it's pretty rugged. Then you get it on. There is a little clip in there, or a place where you put it in there. Okay, I'm not going to be able to do this there. I mean, there is, if you see here, you'll see this little, I don't know, what do you call this, fin, and inside there is a place for that. Okay, you probably heard that click in. As I said, you could hear that click, and now the tail is on there correctly. So you have this big tail, and this is very large here. I'm sure this is about a foot. It's about 2 foot long. This apparently goes in here. This is where you fill up some of the actual dragon juice goes in there. Okay, so you push the tail in there. Now you're to put the wings on. Which apparently has screw holes on it. Let's see what it says there. It's a little, as usual with these Chinese, unscrew the screw to install the wings, align wing holes, and tighten screws. Okay. Part 2 wings. Well, there's no... If we look at this, of course, this is your very typical things you get from Chinese that really don't have any native speakers or people there to help them. They use translations. It appears that you're going to have to put the screws on the outside so you can screw them, because if you try and put these two together, you're going to have a problem. And you'll see that this just kind of fits in. They do give you screws and a screwdriver, which is nice, particularly for smaller sizes. And they want you to technically screw these in. They seem to be exactly the same, even though the screw holes are going to be... and you're going to have to do it on the outside to do it properly. You just push these in, apparently. Push them down. And you should be able to see the opening of the screw there. And so you can align, so the screw goes right into the plastic. You'll see the openings here, and this will go right in, so you can put a screw through there. Obviously, if there's no opening there, you're not going to be able to get a screw in there to fasten to the actual wing. So you have to do that on both sides. Make sure you can see the opening. That doesn't seem to be a problem. And you've got this very cool, what a cool looking dragon this is, a red dragon. And let's open up the actual tools here. And look at what we've got here in terms of the tools of... Okay, you've got the little screwdriver. As I mentioned, this is to fill up the capacity of the dragon breath that shoots out. I'm not sure. It mists it, I guess, to make it kind of look like a mist. But we'll get to that. Here's the screws, which they give you 5. So this couldn't get any briefer instructions. It just says, put screws in. Eat more rice. Okay, now we're going to use this, see if it works, okay? And these go right here. Okay, let me get that up there so you can see it better. So they're going to go right in the obvious place, which is there. Now, whether I can do this at this... actual angle is going to be another point here. So that's where you put the screw in. I'm going to have to take this and put it on my lap and then put the screw in because it's too difficult. These are tiny screws, and as such make it difficult to do anything unless it's in the perfect position. But I don't think you need to know how to put a screw in. You put the screw in the hole and you twist it with the screwdriver provided. If you're that far gone, you probably can't get it anyway. Okay, so there you can see the screw I've just put into that wing to hold it on there. And of course, if you want to disassemble it, you'd be doing the same thing. So there's 2 screws, one on that side. Now we're going to do the one on the other side. I must say this is very well molded in terms of all the detail. And of course, you know, that's what you're looking for in a quality adult toy, not just something that's simplistic, that has a goofy zombie face like Playmobil does with its figures. And even a lot of their molding is very crude. It doesn't have the details that a doesn't have the details that an adult toy collector and full contact wargaming enthusiast wants. So detail is important all the way around. So let's get this showing the figure again. I don't know if it's getting too... This is hard plastic because it doesn't really move. This is soft plastic. You can see how that... because that's going to move and bob around and whatever. I'm not entirely sure what it does. We'll find out, though. Here is the actual control again. And I'm going to open the screw here so that we can put batteries in it. And again, screws are considered quality to have in there to hold things. It holds 3 AAAs, which I have handy right here. But as I said, this is about 2 feet. It's a big unit, and it should be quite interesting. It looks like the actual wings may actually move as well. Let's take this out of the way. I think we can give a better background to it so you can see the actual figure. There's too much distraction here. That nice blue background looks good. Let's get this out of the way here entirely. There we go. That's a better picture. Then let's move it over in this direction so we don't have it. So that's a nice clear picture of this and all the details. Let's go in again and look at all those great details. You can see how the wings are there, and as I just screwed them in, and it appears they're going to be moving. But the wings themselves, which are semi-soft plastic, are well detailed. The mold is excellent, as is the face here is pretty good. There seems to be a tongue coming out there. I'm sure this goes up and down. You've got these legs here on each side, and these are articulated. They can move up and down. So it's quite a nice sculpted and molded unit. Of course, the legs will move because it will walk. Here's the tail. And I'm assuming that moves somewhat as well. We will find out here in a few minutes of how this actually works. But that actual demonstration will be in part 2. We're going to slip the little batteries in, and there's batteries that have to go in both, I believe. And we'll see how that works for everyone. Let's get my batteries going here. There. Same type. I've got my charger here. So this actually takes 3 of these, and oops, these are actually AAAs. It takes AAs, which is kind of unusual. I think the actual figure takes AAAs, but the control here takes AAs, which are those slightly larger ones. And let's see. Okay, the light came on, so it means that it's working. I don't know if there's an on and off switch on this or not. Oh, here it is. On the side here is an on and off switch. Turn it on, that red light comes on. Turn it off, the usual. Red light goes off. Okay, and let's secure this on here before we lose this screw, which happens all the time with these kind of things. Tighten it down lightly. Okay, so that's all it takes to get the control going. As I said, the on and off switch is on the right side there. And that's pretty cool. It looks like a dinosaur, again, molded quite well. I don't know if those are extra screws or we need something. I believe it said you have to put on and off switch at the bottom here. Let's find out what goes in there. From what I understand in the instructions, you have to open that up. And we're going to do that now and get it to the point where it can work, and then we'll demonstrate it in part 2. Now, one of the problems is finding out where the batteries go in the actual Dragon. It needs, as the instruction states, 3 1.5 AA batteries. Okay, so those are using the big batteries as well. And the remote control needs 3 of the same type. It gives you a whole bunch of information on what type of batteries you should use, but it doesn't tell you where you open up the actual dinosaur, which is pretty bad. So this is going to be very instructional for those who buy this so that you'll know how to do it yourself, because I'm going to do it for you and find out where that opening is. Let me check this out. Okay, after examination, I did find it's not really where you would think. Looking in the chest area here, and there's a bunch of screws and stuff. There's also a speaker exit there on this side. There is nothing there to put batteries in, but as I scan down, that is in the tail. Kind of not where I expected it to be, but that's where it is. It's in the tail here. You have to unscrew this, make sure that this is fully loosened, and then this pops out with a little bit of work. And now you're able to get your batteries in. So the actual batteries of this go in the tail, and you need 3 AA's go in here. So let me get those out. So these are the larger batteries, and of course I guess that's good because it means you're going to get a lot more juice in there than AA's. AA's are really bad batteries. I mean, they're nice that they're small, but they don't hold much juice for long. See if anything comes on here, because these are kind of older batteries. There we go. These are older batteries, and these don't connect all that great. But when you do, apparently the light comes on in the eyes first, and you'll see that. You can see that on the camera there. Yeah, you can see this very bright spot here that the light comes on. So it appears that we are working here. Let's put the tail back on here and just lightly tighten this down, because of the fact that you tend not to want to lose those screws, which, as I said, I don't like. I prefer clip things, but quality generally means something screws in. And now I lose my battery thing here again. The light's not on. And as usual, you always want to make sure that. Okay, we turn the control on. You have good batteries, which I generally don't. Problem with rechargeables is that they tend to be unreliable, but I hate using mass amounts of batteries here. You can see how this is a little difficult to get off. Okay, let's get back in there. When I took the plate off, of course, the actual light came on. And of course, this is the top here. This is where you fill, you put water in, so it actually starts to spit out what apparently looks like flames and so forth. So it basically is activated now. I've left the cover off because of the battery problem. Shows what the model is, you're getting this, blah, blah, blah. Please use the proper batteries. They seem to be having a problem if you use something a little odd. And they're not really giving you anything else. They're not really saying how the remote control works or anything else, so it's fairly poor. I guess you're supposed to, I guess it says on the box here. You always look at the box to get some references, but the remote control legs motion, which is here at the bottom, and of course head motion, which is here on this side. So that's what that's supposed to do. And of course, let me check everything here to make sure we have things work properly. I'm sure those batteries are connected well, but are we getting good? I'm going to put in some much stronger batteries and see what happens here in terms of better batteries. They say don't use the high voltage type, but for demonstration purposes here, let's try these stronger batteries and see how well they work. These are very dependable generally, and of course we don't even get the, okay, There, the light comes on again. And that has nothing to do with the actual Dragon. That has to do with the problems with batteries that you get when you have rechargeable batteries and you use them over and over again. I'm going to put the tail back on to make it look cool. We're going to get this. There we go. That's pretty cool. I mean, that's some good Dragon sounds. I guess we're going to get into the demonstrations right now. We're not going to save that for other times. And you have that kind of dinosaur dragon walking reality to it. And of course, and I guess it's based on the fact of your tabletop. Even though this is a smooth top, the feet on the bottom have these rollers on it, and that's supposed to help. I'm not sure that helps it move forward. We don't seem to be getting any action out of the actual... These don't do anything. I thought these may actually do something, but they don't. So basically what this does is move forward. There is head motions, which we'll get into. And of course, there's that spray, which I will load up here in a few minutes. So let's just... There's the head. I guess the wings do move. So that's pretty cool. Now that's a real cool dinosaur dragon sound. It's very clear. It's very loud. The wings do move as well. You're getting that in and out motion. This is certainly going to add excitement to any full contact wargaming you get into. I mean, this is an awesome little item for the kind of money you're talking about. I think this was $38 or about 38 euros. You're talking about 45 bucks to get a remote controlled big item like this. I think this is a fantastic deal. Let's move it around a wee bit. See what it looks like in the front. There seems to be multi-lights. And the mouth lights up here when you press the button. And you can see those wings in the back moving. And of course, this is where you fill up the actual water, which I will do in a minute. Now let's get back. So that's a pretty cool... head spins, but that's all it does. You have one control here. It doesn't go. But that certainly is an awesome sound there. Let's get a shot from the back here where you can actually see it. You see how the wings move here better? Listen to that sound. Wow. That's loud and pretty scary. I mean, that's a scary sound. So I'm pretty impressed by that. Of course, the head just goes around in a circle. It doesn't really bob up and down or anything else. So you're not getting those kind of features. I don't know if there are lots of dragons like this, and most of them are the same exact model, and you can pay a lot more for them. Generally, if you look carefully, you can get these for around $45 US to 50, and you don't, if you grab the first one you see, but you can also look at the features they give you as well. So let's get that walking motion again and see what's going on there. And you have to hold the button down like all of it. It definitely is moving forward. I mean, we can see that here. Let's move him back a little bit. Let's have a line here. So this is where the first foot ends. Let's see how that actually works. Pretty cool. So it is slipping. It is slipping a wee bit, but you know this is not supposed to be moving fast. And for full contact wargaming, you don't want something moving too fast because you can't react to it. But you can see, I mean, that's where we started from, where that actual screwdriver is. So, you know, we moved here in a less than a minute, I would say, about 6 or 8 inches. So it does walk. It does everything it's supposed to do. Now let's check out that feature of spritzing. So here again, they don't give you much information. But I guess to a certain extent that makes it fun. And, you know, a lot of things are just intuitive. Does the water go in the arm? Well, of course not. So this is where the water port is. And you just stick it in here. I'm not sure how much you're supposed to put in there. But I'm assuming that you don't want to overload these things in general. So you just put it in there and you press this down. Kind of ruins the dragon because it's kind of an ugly thing up there. So that ain't the best. So let's see what this does. It's on. I don't know if it's instantaneous or... Look at that. Look at that. That's quite cool. I mean, this is a hell of a toy for 40 bucks. I don't know what more you could ask for. It's greatly molded. It looks cool, and they have different colors, but you know, there's nothing like a red dragon, especially its magical implications and the Order of the Red Dragon, which is something that IGLS is acquainted with. The good guys. And it's very well done. I mean, basically, it's pretty easy to put together. I got you through some of the areas that may be difficult. This is the big battery compartment down here, which I just didn't recognize. I don't have my glasses on to do the filming. Maybe that's why I missed it, but it's a pretty big thing. You're going to need 6 AA batteries. And it does walk pretty well. I don't want a fast-going thing. Anything that moves fast is hard to control, and something that you wouldn't want to, even in general, even if you're using it by itself, but using it in full impact wargaming, you want something that you can control properly. And you can see how this would be a fantastic addition to serious full impact wargaming. And this would be an adversary that would require lots of particular types of bombardments to take out. So let's get that walking there again. Just to show how it moves. So again, it depends on the position and everything else. It doesn't seem to be was working much better. And you can see both sides are the same. The only thing different, this is where all the screws are in the battery compartment, so it's not quite as attractive. But let's put it over here and let's demonstrate that again to see exactly, this is where the front foot is, to see exactly how that works in this kind of a situation. There we go. Look at that cool effect. That is awesome. You know, they've had toys like this for many, many years, and they've always been hundreds and hundreds of dollars. Let's get that walking again. And you can see how it is moving. You know, and of course you may have to find a surface that works better, but I don't want fast movement. I do want movements, but I don't want fast movements. So that is really awesome, people. great sound effects, great everything else. It's always nice to find something that is a value. I'm assuming this is going to last more than a couple of months. You never know with this stuff. Well made, well sculptured, well everything. I give this the highest grade you can get. The only thing, and of course that's where it has to be for whatever, that's cosmetically. And if you're an engineer, you want to get your aesthetics down as well. Things should be aesthetically pleasing. So this right here, I'm not sure where they could put it, but it would have been better if they could put it somewhere else. Aesthetically, that kind of ruins the look of the dragon, but that's a minor engineering flaw, which engineers are famous for. Build it wrong. Can't fix my car. I'm an engineer. So I should know that's what my daddy was. He couldn't fix his car. So the whole idea is that when it goes through all of these things, that's what you get. So you have to give them about 3 points less for that. So as on a rating of 1 to 100, this is a 97. I don't see anything wrong with this except for one cosmetic and poor engineering feature. Everything seems to work right. I mean, it's fantastic. And of course, the actual head moving and mist coming out is just awesome. Look at that. This actual breath thing is something that's come out new. Now, these have been used in actual little mini fountains where they've been able to take water and turn it into what appears to be a mist or a steam. And it's a very cool feature. It looks fantastic in fountains. And somebody was smart enough to put it in this. So let's get a better view of that. Nice up close. Unbelievable how cool that is. Now, here it is next to our Starlux castle, which I recently reviewed, which is a good-sized castle. What's that, about a foot, maybe 14 inches, somewhere in that area. And you can see how this looks pretty cool. This would be a great scenario of attacking a castle where you have a good-sized dragon. That's what's nice, to get things in proportion. And of course, this would be a monster to deal with. Compared to the actual... this is the actual... Oops! This is the actual dragon they gave you. And I guess this could be the baby dragon that that goes with that. Now here's a dragon. Now I guess if you were defending a castle against even a beast like this, it would probably be very threatening, since it is still pretty large. But it ain't as large as something like this. This gets into the more Godzilla-type realities that you'd be dealing with. But you can see how this certainly would be, and you can use the two figures together, how this would be a fantastic. Now you can see it right next to the castle there. And the defenders. Really cool. Let's see what we can do here. Apparently you can use... Now, is that cool or what? You cannot use bolt setting. You cannot walk and do that. You have to use either the walking. Of course, how would you like that in front of your castle trying to get in? And of course, you have the usual. And that's done by itself, of course. Now, if that isn't bringing wargaming up to a new level with all these cool castles, these